All right, today in this video, we're going to look at the S&P 500, maybe even QQQ and others like that that are breaking down. This is a breaking. Today is just not a good day for the S&P 500. It is not looking very strong. We need to get some kind of momentum back to where it was. It broke down into a level where I was warning a lot of folks that if we break down into this, we could continue to see bleeding, and sure enough, it has broken down. I sent out a couple emails, so if you guys are on our email list, you guys got that as well, of what I think could happen in this chart. But basically what we're seeing here is so right now I have on the chart here the gravity zone. If you're interested in this tool in particular, the gravity zone right here, there will be a link in the description. You go ahead and check that out. Essentially what we do is we use the volume. So this is nothing new. Volume has been around since trading's been around. But what it does, which I love, is I found a solution to having to just manually do this all the time. And I didn't really even like the look of it, and it didn't really give me any kind of clear indication of anything. So what I did is with a little tinkering around and using an algorithm, what I do is I actually paint a buy side and a sell side. So whenever we get a breakout, see, I'm a fan of breakouts. So as soon as we break out of this line here, that's a sell and confirm. If we break above this and confirm, that is a buy. So what happened here on the SP 500? Well, we broke down. We have already broken down, and it really popped. It had a really nice rally. I believe this was on some just some news and some, maybe possible end to just a certain political thing. I'm not going to get into politics in this channel. What we want to do is want to cover the charts. And so it was looking fine, but then here we go. It came right into the gravity zone, the gravity line, I should say, and that is where the most volume has been in this particular zone, and then it just popped right back down. That is not a good sign. In fact, in my what I actually teach using this indicator in particular is when you see that, that's actually a sell signal. That is also a sell signal. So in that particular case, that could have actually been a potential sell move right there. And however, we are in a particular zone where it is favoring the downside all day, every day to 650. So that is going to be my line in the sand there. It is favoring a 650. So if you are coming in and watching this, and you want to know a define where it potentially could go, 650 is where I think that it could go. That's the floor. So this is actually the indicator. We actually paint a floor there. And essentially what it is just a recent resistance. And that is a key area that is going to need to hold. So if we potentially get down there to 650, it is going to have to hold that. If it does not hold 650 and it breaks down, there is going to be a lot of pain. There's going to be a lot of pain. And I believe in these markets, especially with the open space that we are in right now, it could continue to just rocket to the downside. See this right here, these green little bars here, there's not a lot of volume. There's not a lot of volume at all. And so when you see that in contrast to all this volume right here, that means that this is more a discovery zone. This is an open space. So when we get an open space in the market, especially in the overall broad market like the S&P 500, the SPY, what that does is that when we get in an open space, it typically likes to move quickly. And so what could we see here? So we're right here at the end of the day, tail end of the day. So this really could rocket down to 650. Now, does it mean that we get there overnight? It potentially could, and if we gap down there, then we could maybe see a little relief rally. But we'll keep an eye on this. As of right now, it has confirmed more of a downside move, a downside favor. And in fact, also I put up here the fear meter. So this is just an algorithm that I created that basically looks at like 6 different things, including Bitcoin, VIX, bonds and things like that. And it puts a score on the chart essentially whenever you see it red like this. So we haven't seen this level of, it actually goes to 100. It's at 93 right now. So 93 is a very high level for basically it's just panic in the markets. And so it's just, I don't know if you guys ever seen, one of those meters where it's less panic and then the most panic, right? It's essentially something like that, only it's here on TradingView on the charts, And I actually particularly like mine a little bit better than some of those. And what's also cool was I put a little diamond here whenever the markets are kind of starting to kind of breathe a sigh of relief potentially to be a good dip buying opportunity. So you can actually dip buy on some of these. This came in a little bit early. I typically like to do it after we see the matte, like the strong red, and then it starts to dip a little bit like that. That's when I really like to get in some of these dip buying opportunities. So will we see the 650 range? That's the question. So if you guys think that we'll go to 650, let me know in the comments. What do you guys think? Are you bullish, bearish here? Are we heading for lower levels? Is this war going to escalate into where, the markets are just going to be, there's going to be just tons and tons of sell-off, something like that we've seen around in 2020 range, or even 2022. We had a pretty nice pullback then as well. So will that happen? We'll continue to watch. We'll continue to see what the charts show us. Right now, we are favoring a downside move. If you were following me on Bitcoin, I was watching Bitcoin yesterday. I actually did a video on it as well. And so Bitcoin is still in the range, so it's still kind of in no man's land. What I was mentioning is that if we can confirm up here and break pretty much like we saw here and break some of these levels, we potentially could rocket up to 85,000. And I still think that is easily possible if it continues to push through this level. Right now, it's kind of in no man's land. It's still in this big, massive volume node. So, but if we can break up into this, pretty much you just turn this chart around, and that's kind of what SPY looks like right now. It's actually broken it, right? So it actually broken its downside. So like I said, not good at all for the bulls out there. I don't think that is a bullish. This is not a bullish chart. This is not a bullish chart at all. Whenever you see these big time, big strong sell-offs, and then a recovery, and then a strong sell-off, and then try to recover, and now we're back into these levels here. This is not this. Basically, think about it is just like a bull, and right now we're kind of in just a slow turning bull, and it is turning not a bullish chart. It's turning into a bearish chart, and that potentially could happen, especially here on the daily chart as we're looking at this live here. So will we get a rally? We need a rally. We need a strong rally. We got to have more than just one green candle. We have to have more than just one of these. It has to have 1, 2, 3, 4, and just continue to go, maybe even back at all-time highs. Something has to give. And if that doesn't, we are going to be starting to head down to these lower levels. Okay. So that'll be it for today's video. If you guys enjoyed it, if you guys are interested in any of the tools that you saw on the chart, so the fear meter, the gravity zone, I'll have a link in the description. Go ahead and check those out. They're not free tools. They're tools that we're constantly updating and creating more things. I actually just did a crazy update that I'm actually really excited to show you guys about snap trades. So we will have more information about that as well, because I know a lot of you guys were loving snap trades, and we actually just made a humongous updates. Beta members are going to absolutely love it. I've been talking to them about it now for a couple days, and so pretty cool. So all right, guys, that's going to be it for today's video. See you guys in the next one.